I've told you before that the term fake news, much like regressive, has become used so commonly as this kind of like catch-all ad hominem that it's lost a lot of the meaning that it originally had. And we actually have a new study now that confirms this. There's a new Gallup-Knight Foundation survey, and it found that 42% of Republicans consider accurate news stories that are negative about a politician or about a political group as always fake news. Now, you might say, well, David, I'm sure Democrats are just as bad, right? And you would be wrong, because only 17% of Democrats believe that accurate negative news stories are fake news. It's still horrible, but it's not nearly as bad as the 42% of Republicans that said so. This actually confirms a victory for Donald Trump in his use of the word, because fake news used to mean either satirical news or deliberately misleading propaganda news from those conspiracy websites and from others. But the Trumpian use of fake news, the Trumpian use of fake news towards any critical or negative reporting has now expanded the meaning to the point that it actually has no meaning at all. What can we do about this? I actually don't know. I'm really at a loss, because this isn't going to be going away. It's very easy to look at these people who say any negative story about Trump is fake news and say, those morons. But it's here to stay. There's a handful of Trumpists that email me regularly. Anytime we do a negative story about Donald Trump, which is pretty often, and they say, with no hint of sarcasm or of joking or of self-awareness whatsoever, they say, David, that story is fake news. And I don't know if they can't tell the difference, or if they're refusing to see the difference between actual news and just critical reporting. And it goes to something I've been saying for a long time. We're not going to convince these people. We're not going to convince them that they've been bamboozled by Trump. It's just not going to happen. So if you want to get involved in the 2018 election, if you want to get involved in the 2020 election, forget about going and arguing with Trumpists and trying to get them to see the light in some, at this point, nearly miraculous way. Just work on getting out the vote. Only half the country votes. We can vote all of them out on voter turnout alone, just by mobilizing people whose politics already align with ours. Don't waste your time on these people. It's just not going to work. We've got a great program for you today. A very quick story up front here at the top of the show, because we have so much to get to. Thrilled you're with us on the Friday program today. Today's episode of The David Pakman Show is made possible in part by Brilliant, which is an amazing website that lets you engage in fun and interesting problems and puzzles in order to learn more about really almost anything related to math, science, and engineering. Brilliant is a vibrant community of over 5 million members that brings together the expert knowledge and experience of students, educators, and professionals from all over the world to create an incredibly interactive learning environment. And learning in the presence of an actual community really makes a difference. When you use Brilliant, you're in the company of over 5 million members who share your curiosity and love for math and science and engineering. And the community at Brilliant supports your learning. You build an emotional connection with the subjects of your learning by interacting with other learners. And that's what sets Brilliant apart from other educational websites. You can get started right now by signing up for free at brilliant.org/David Pakman. And the first 200 people who visit brilliant.org/David Pakman will get 20% off an annual premium membership. That is brilliant.org/David Pakman.